Yo, 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 what is up, Sports Betting Nation? We are here for the first ever episode of Best Bets Daily. We're so excited to bring you guys the best bets by BetAngles.com. I got my boy Justin and Craig in here today with us. Why don't you guys give a shout out?
What's up? JC Money Design here.
Yep, and Coach Craig down here.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, for coming. So as you guys can see, this is our first episode of a show that we're going to be running every day. It's called Best Bets Daily. Our goal is to bring you guys the best sports bets every single day to help you get on the winning side of it. Like, of course, we all want to do. The days of losing and not winning money from sports betting, those days are over. Jump in with us. Let's fucking go. So we do want to do a little ground rules here first. Not really rules, but we are doing a giveaway. We are going to give away a jersey of your choice at the end of the month. So for anyone who's watching, if you do throw a chat message in, that's how you qualify. So every time you chat, if we do an episode today, if you guys talk with us, if you get in that chat box, we'll give you one entry into the drawing. So if you come all 30 days, if you check out the show every day and throw us a message, that'll give you 30 entries into our contest. If we pull your name, you get to pick any jersey you want, NBA, NFL, straight from the NFL shop, or however you guys want to do it. So let's get right into it. So we have 4 games on tap today. The first game that we're going to talk about here is the Edmonton Oilers at the Philadelphia Flyers. So we're going to be looking at an NHL game out of the box here. Starts at 7 p.m. tonight. So if we take a look at our best bets here, the best bet that we're giving out on this game tonight is Edmonton minus 1.5. And the reason being, if you look at our statistics here, so we have written a supercomputer, as we like to call it. We've put in a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy into this computer. And what it does every day, it will calculate the best bets based on stats like the matchup trends, how teams are performing offensively, how teams are performing defensively, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if we look at the matchup here, Edmonton has actually covered 6 out of the last 7 games versus Philly. That is a big trend that you're going to want to look at tonight. That is obviously a lot of the reason why our supercomputer has chosen this game as a best bet. They've covered the spread against the Flyers in 6 of the last 7. They've covered 6. They haven't covered once. So that's a big trend that you want to look at for this matchup. If we look at them offensively, so what this does is in the last 10 games, not against each other, but the last 10 games that both of these teams have played, Edmonton has scored more goals in 7 out of those 10 games. So clearly the Edmonton offense has been a lot stronger recently than the Philadelphia offense. And lastly, the defense. This is, probably one of the, the stats that obviously doesn't look as good, but from a defensive perspective, they're more even than from an offensive or a matchup perspective. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this Edmonton game as far as the spread goes. We'll get into the players at the end here, and we can talk about that. Do you guys have any input on the spread side of the Edmonton game?
To me, I think the only thing that's going to matter is the goalies. To me, that's really what matters here. I think the goalies are going to keep it close. It looks like Carter Hart is expected to play. It's not 100%, but Mikko Koskinen is 100% ready to go, confirmed. And it looks like since he's started, he has not he's been undefeated. So, yeah, my bet would be on that side, Edmonton side for sure. I mean, the spread seems legit enough. It seems like the last couple of games that he's been. I think
so you're liking that.
Fair.
Great. Anything, Craig?
Yeah, so he is actually 18-8 as a goalie this year. So it's a pretty good chance that they win. Edmonton's definitely a better, more rounded team from everything I've kind of seen and followed a little bit this year. The Flyers just haven't really been that great this year.
Awesome. So I think we all like the Edmonton minus 1.5 side there. If we look at the money line, the same stats really apply. Edmonton has covered. Edmonton is outscoring them. So if you do want to lay a little bit of a price and not worry about that extra goal, definitely look at Edmonton on the money line for a parlay. Or just if you're looking, sometimes this money line is nice. You bet, $1,650 to win 1,000. So if Edmonton is really, blowing teams away, then, look at that money line. From an over under perspective, in the last 8 games against these teams, the over is six overs to 2 unders. So that, that is a stat that if you're just going off of trends, then you would definitely want to look at that. From an offensive perspective, they're about even. In half of their games, each team scores enough to reach the total. In the other half, they don't. So the swaying factor is really here in the last 8. Now, I do want to let you guys know our computer formula has about 12 different factors that it calculates on, but obviously we can't give away every single factor. So what we do is we're giving you like the top 3 things that, can help lead you to find what are the best bets for the day, save you some time, save you some research, etc. So to cap off this game from a betting perspective, the over 6.5, Edmonton on the spread, and obviously Edmonton on the money line. I did want to jump into the players a little bit here. We do have our fantasy projections, and the top projected player in this game is Leon Draisaitl. Maybe you guys could help me with the pronunciation. Connor McDavid, obviously strong. If you're looking for, a stack, maybe an Edmonton stack might be nice. Philly, the players are projected a little bit lower. Do you guys have any comments on the player side of this game?
Well, Connor McDavid's like the best. He's the best player in the NHL right now. So, I mean, definitely somebody I'd be looking at. I mean, just depends on the price, and how you're building. It depends, if you're trying to go, DraftKings or something like that, you're trying to build your lineup with somebody like that. Obviously it's going to cost you a lot, but it's a strong play.
Sure. This Draisaitl guy probably is living under the radar. Because we're talking about Connor McDavid, but take a look. There's actually a guy of less value projected to score more points. So if you're looking at a multiplayer,
highest scorer, right? I think that's right. Right?
Yeah.
Right, Craig? He's one of their highest scorers on the team.
Yeah, they both are. I would say McDavid's the safer play.
Yep.
At least recently too. Draisaitl is he's a guy that gets you a little bit more in terms of assists, it looks like lately, but he's definitely up there. He just had a couple down games too. Evander Kane's down there too. He had that whole thing come out about him tanking games on purpose and betting them on himself. His wife came out and said something about it. I don't know what he did to piss off his wife, but he's not. And you think maybe play a little bit better after that just to kind of prove a point? He really hasn't played better since that point in time. So
possibly a fade there. And again, using these Bet Angles tools, that's what we want to do, is we want to help bring these guys right to your face. So you don't have to go researching stats for hours and hours to find a guy like Draisaitl. So that's definitely one of the advantages of using the tools at Bet Angles. We do have a Facebook user saying, "Let's go. This is awesome. Looking forward to tuning in every day." That's great. I wish we knew who you were, so we could enter you in the giveaway for the jersey. So maybe give us a little screen name or something for that. But thank you for joining. And this is why we're doing it. We don't want to just help the 3 of us win more money, which the formula has been helping. If we just to give you guys a quick look at the stats, in the last 170 games, we're looking at an 89-79 record, which is hitting at 53%. And NHL, we're hitting at 54%. NBA, we've been tweaking the formula. We're 5-7. We're coming up, and we've been seeing better results on that. So we're very, very excited with the potential of this formula. Hey, Dean, thanks for joining, man. So cool. So we'll wrap this game up. So definitely hammer Edmonton. And if you're looking at a total play, hammer that over under. So moving on to the Calgary Flames at minus 120-ish versus the Minnesota Wild. Definitely an interesting matchup here. If we go to Bet Angles, and we will take a look at the best bets for this game. Now, just to segue in, if you create an account at Bet Angles, you'll be able to see these best bets. Obviously, you do have to sign up for the monthly membership. As of right now, we're running a deal for the first week for $5, and then it will be $49.99 a month thereafter. But we will definitely, the goal is to make you much, much more than that. So segueing in here, Calgary at +1.5. So this is actually great because it shows that our formula doesn't always pick the favorites, you know? If you look at the matchup, Calgary has actually covered in 5 out of the last 9 against Minnesota. So there's a slight advantage there for them. And then on the offensive side, they've been outscoring Minnesota at 7 out of 10. The last 10 games, they're scoring more goals than Minnesota. So definitely something to look after. And in the last 10, they've actually out-defended Minnesota as well, meaning they've given up less goals. So here you have a team giving a goal and a half, yet they've covered more, scored more, and defended better. Ding, ding, ding. Like I'll take the 1.5, and I'll, hey, if they lose by 1, we win. And if they happen to lose by 2, oh well. If you look on paper, it was a pretty damn good play. So Calgary, the +1.5, and obviously the money line. If you want to, if you're a little more risky, you can take an even money line there. As far as the total goes, not that great from an over perspective. 2 out of the last 8 have been over. However, the offense is key here. In the last 10, Calgary has scored basically half of the over. The way this works is it says, all right, how many times has Calgary scored enough goals to get it to the over? If both teams score 3.5 goals, then this is going over. That's what this shows. So in the last 10, Calgary has scored enough goals to put this to an over, assuming that Minnesota as well scores enough goals. So the over, this is what is swaying the over, a 5-star rating that basically in 14 of the last 20, these teams have gone over if you combine their scores together. So definitely looking at an overplay here. You guys have any comments on the Calgary side or the over side before we get into the players?
It should be an over game for sure.
Okay.
The last time they played, it was 7-3. I mean, Calgary whooped them 7-3. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, as a Minnesota fan, and I live here, Minnesota likes to lose at home. It's just a thing that happens. They lose at home a lot. It's just something that Minnesota teams tend to do. And Markstrom's an insanely good, goalie. So I mean, I could see a lot of points scored here, and I could see Minnesota for sure losing.
Great. So let's smash that over. Sorry, Craig, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I was pretty much going to say the same thing. These two good teams just play on the 26th, and Calgary won 7-3.
Nice.
And yeah, like
so the stats don't lie. The stats don't lie.
Yep.
The only difference really is Zuccarello is back for Minnesota tonight. Like he's a good player, but Minnesota still has a lot of different guys that can score too. But I don't think he's a 4-goal difference player. Let's put it that way.
True. And so if we take a look at the projections for this game, I think you mentioned Zuccarello here. He's there, but this Kaprizov.
Kaprizov, he's a beast.
Oh, awesome. So yeah.
Let's see.
Gaudreau's good. Yeah, Gaudreau's really, really good too. I mean,
yep.
This is a tough game because I mean it would be hard to take a goalie in this game, even though I really like Markstrom. He's a really good goalie. It's just these teams they're both scoring teams.
See, I'd be looking at that Lindholm there. He's been really consistent as of late. Do you go further down at all or not?
Yeah.
What you got Boldy for? Because Boldy's he's like a 20-year-old rookie for Minnesota.
Yeah, 8.18 projection about in the middle of the
19. He's playing 19 games. I think he's got 8 goals and 10 assists. So somebody to look at.
So a possible sleeper, sleeper in the fantasy and the Boldy, and that's what we want to do. We want to tie in the betting and the fantasy side because obviously these are all opportunities to make money. What we're really trying to do is when anyone sports bets, they the steps are deposit money, look at the bets, place a bet. We want to interject ourselves in between you depositing money and placing a bet. We want to be in the middle so you can go to Bet Angles, research, find the best plays before you place those bets. So that is our goal, is to help you guys to win more money. We've said it over and over, but we're going to continue to say it because that is what we do here. Help the community make more money. That's what drives us every day, right, guys?
Yeah, and even that Erickson Ek, man, he's been a really good player too. I mean, if you're looking for a center for something that's low price, Joel Erickson Ek, he's at 4,200 on the Minnesota side.
Yep.
So I mean,
the only thing about Minnesota is they got so many different guys that can score too. Erickson Ek, Zuccarello, Boldy, Kaprizov, Hartman, like all 4 or 5 of those guys can score pretty easily. But Boldy's just been the one that's really been moving up because, you know, he's just this 20-year-old rookie. He's got 18 points in 19 games. So it's just, and he's in the first power play line now. So there's a lot going right for him. And he's still kind of relatively cheap enough where the sites aren't catching up to him yet.
True. Nice. And then we got a user saying Majapane has been playing well. Mr. Andrew Majapane. I may be getting these pronunciations wrong, but here he is, left winger for the Flames. So definitely someone to look at as well. We trust our Facebook group to bring us the best knowledge. So that is great. So let's move on. So I think we've smashed this game. So just to summarize, we'll be looking at Calgary with the +1.5. I like that because I'd take a 1-goal, advantage any day, although I'm sure the price is pretty high. So maybe look at the Calgary money line, but I think we all agree that we like the over the best in this game if we had to pick one. And part of having a Bet Angles account, this best bet page will actually rank the best bets by the top. You can see which ones are number 1, 2, and 3. If you look at the scores page, you can just see the best bets for every game. So when we do this show, we're going to go through the games that we like, but really what you want to do is log in, get your account set up so you can see the top bets every day. That's where you want to be. So moving on, Nets and Raptors. Interesting game here. It's at Toronto. The Raptors are at a -8.5 spread, which you would think sounds pretty crazy, but if you look at it, they've actually covered 7 out of the last 10 against Brooklyn, and they're outscoring them in 7 out of the last 10 games, if you put their clips side by side. So definitely that's where this 8.5 line is coming from. So a 70% cover rate, plus it just seems like they've been owning them lately. Brooklyn's falling off. They have a little resurgence, but again, I think you got to look at Toronto here. I don't know if you guys disagree.
Kyrie can't play in Canada.
Right. Oh, he won't be there?
No.
Yeah, he can't play there because of COVID protocols.
Oh, COVID. So there you go. So they're going to be the same team they are at home, but,
Well, he can't play at home either.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the team you're going to get, the Kyrie-less home Nets.
I'll just say this too about Brooklyn real quick. If you look at their team, the guys they're throwing out there that are starting right now, Seth Curry is the only guy that would be starting on like any other NBA team, like at this point in time.
Andre Drummond? No, what about Drummond? He's on the decline.
Drummond hasn't been that good in like 2.5 years, honestly.
And
he just banged up his knee last night too. So like him and Aldridge together, like, okay, like that's okay enough at center. And like big man doesn't matter like as much nowadays, but like Patty Mills should be on the bench. And he had one game where he shot well. And other than that, he's been shooting like 20% from the field. And then like Bruce Brown's a fine bench player. Like James Johnson's a fine bench player, but when you're starting all these guys and then Cam Thomas is questionable tonight, like the biggest thing in this game, I guess, just is Fred VanVleet plays or not. I don't think there's any reason to play him, especially since they did pretty well last night without him. So
yeah, and that's why I don't think we're seeing him in the projections for tonight. It looks like they're leaning towards he's not getting in this game. Pascal Siakam's the top point projector in this one tonight.
Yeah. And he's been down lately, but the Raptors, not last game, but the like 2 or 3 games before that, they were playing like crap. Like honestly, so they were getting blown out some, and then they kind of
I saw that. Last time. Everyone was on them on their first game out of the All-Star break, and they got pounded. But I think tonight, the numbers, the formula, everything's pointing to Toronto. So in the computer we trust. So we will be jumping on Toronto. At the time of the calculation, the over/under number wasn't out yet. It's 218 right now. I don't really have any suggestions either or on that. I think that's kind of in the middle. I would probably stay away from the over under tonight and lay the money on Toronto.
Yeah, I probably stay away from that number too, just because like Brooklyn can't score any like lately at all. And I mean,
Right.
like your best player is Seth Curry at this point in time.
Yep. So just hope he hits threes if you have the over. But that might be a good prop play. Take a look at Steph Curry, points on the points prop, or 3-pointers
Okay.
made.
Mhm.
Definitely something that you might want to look at. So we will take a run here at our last game. It is the TNT prime time first game tonight in the prime time sector. It is Hawks at Celtics. Celtics are favored by -6.5. And so if we take a look at this best bet, the computer likes Atlanta tonight, boys.
Boston's been playing like shit. That's probably why.
Yeah, but if you look at 7 of the last 10, here's the thing. The numbers don't lie. I know Craig's kind of thinking, oh, here's an impossible issue here. Red flag. Atlanta is not defending much better than Boston, and Boston's on the uptick. So, we got to trust in the computer here because it's hitting at 58%. But I guess if you were thinking of one to fade or go the other way, you could consider. Where are you thinking, Craig, on this?
I'll say this too about Boston this year. They are very inconsistent. They blow a lot of leads too. So like when you're betting a spread, like it's not the worst team to bet a spread against because they always kind of blow it in the fourth quarter. I mean, we've seen them lose to the Pistons. We've seen them lose to God, who else did they lose to? Like right after the All-Star break, that wasn't very good too. Like, and on paper they should be like this really good defensive team, but they're just kind of like in the middle of the pack. And like Atlanta, like at the beginning of the year, we thought they'd be really good defensively, and they just haven't been. And like both these teams are really weird because they can score a lot of points, like if they play well, or they could go out and score 86 points apiece. So,
right. So I think we're looking at Atlanta there. Maybe if you're looking at a parlay, not looking for Atlanta to win this game tonight. I think it's gonna be, they may cover and lose by 3 or 4, but I think Boston wins. So if you're looking for a money line play, the formula is actually suggesting the Boston money line over the Atlanta Hawks. If we take a look at the players, obviously Trae Young, top of the list. He has been going off. Maybe with the Ja Morant, he may try to keep up. I don't know. I like Trae Young, but he's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, he's very hit or miss. So last game he went for about like 60 fantasy points, but the game before that he got like 30. So yeah, he was 3 for 17. I think it was 2 games ago. And you have Marcus Smart and Derek White guarding him probably most of the game. 2 of the better defenders on the as guards, wings, or whatever you want to call them. You could even see some Jaylen Brown on him too. So it's not the easiest matchup in the world for him. I like Jason Tatum a lot tonight. He traditionally plays pretty well against the Hawks. He's had a couple games where he hasn't, but for the most part, the last time he played him, he had 61. So
awesome. Cool. So any more notes on this game or?
I think you got like a couple guys that could pop up as sleepers. Maybe like if Gallinari shoots the ball well, Bogdanovich, or like Al Horford's like a really sneaky guy tonight because I don't think it's a bad matchup for him against Gallinari. 2 kind of older guys that kind of lost a step anyways, so they kind of go pretty good against each other. But just really depends if he gets some of those extra stats that he doesn't always get.
Awesome, great. So then I think that wraps up the 4 games where we were going here. So what we like to do towards the end here is go through a little summary of what we would say would be the top, 4 plays that we found out of talking and kind of listening to everyone. If you're looking for, generally every night, it seems like people play between maybe 3 and 6 bets per night. I've kind of heard it from all spectrums where people, if you give them 10 picks a day, they say that's way too many. If you give them 1 or 2, they say that's not enough. So at the end of the day, people are all kind of in an interesting spectrum. That's why best bet angles is nice because you can go to that best bets tab. You can see the top 3 NBA picks, the top 3 NHL picks, and then you can get the next 6 or 7, as many picks as you want. So to summarize it, if I was playing, I'm going to go tonight, I'm going to put these bets in. That's what we do every night. We bet these same plays. My card looks like this. Edmonton laying the 1.5. Calgary Flames money line. Toronto laying the 8.5, and then the Hawks at the +6. My goal is really to go 3-1 at least, 2-2 at worst, 4-0 at best. That is the plan. You're not going to win them all, but if you can win, 55 plus, 60%. They say the best guys, range in the high 50s or maybe even less than that. I don't know. But either way, if you can win over 50%, generally you're winning unless you're betting high money lines, which we rarely do. As you can see, our money line is an even money line here. So that is the card for tonight. The best bets we have. Definitely, if you guys keep watching the show, make sure you chat. We are going to do giveaways, jersey giveaways, other things as part of the community. Do you guys have any closing remarks for tonight? You want to plug your show later, Justin? You guys going to be doing anything tonight?
Yeah. So if anybody hasn't realized or know who we are, so I'm JC Money and this is Coach Craig, and we do a show for Super Draft Pro, and we just promote it. It's a lot of fun. It's just a different, it's a different platform to play, the DFS on and do some other stuff like that. They have like sports betting and stuff like that as well. So it's kind of cool, new platform we've been, shooting the shit with, and we definitely enjoy it. And we do basketball every single night. So we have a show it's every night at about 6:05 Eastern time. Every single night we do basketball, and then we also plug some other sports too, depending on the subscription side of Super Draft. So tonight it is basketball, and it's a one game for that side, and it's a shitty game, it's the Lakers game. So we'll be doing that, but we'll also be talking about the main slate as well, and that's where we make the money at. And it's been nice. We have some pretty good following, and it's been pretty nice. And now that we have you as our partner, we appreciate that very much. We've been
hell yeah, man,
all the time. I've been using this, so. Yeah, we're really excited. So, I mean, if you wanted to follow me on Twitter too, JC Money on Twitter, and we post our stuff, anything that we have on there. And go ahead, Craig, plug your shit, brother.
So I got one question first too, just about that on the bet angles.
Sure.
What do you have for on the +5 for the Lakers tonight? Because that doesn't. I see plus, or at least where I'm seeing is I see +5, and like the Lakers, as bad as they've been this year, they've been keeping most of the games close. Yeah, so you got 4.5.
Yeah, it's at 5.5. Well, it was 4.5 at 5 a.m. when these came out. Currently it's at -5.5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
The best bet is looking at like Dallas, mainly because if you look though, these are the three. This is 3 out of 12 factors. One factor we do is the referees. And that's one of the things, if you sign up for Bet Angles, you can get more insight. The referees that are reffing this game could be very favorable to the away teams, and sometimes that's a pivotal matchup. So it looks like Dallas and the under, last 6 out of 10 have gone under. And from a defensive perspective, they're rarely allowing the total to get to the under. So that's kind of key.
I was kind of looking at because what I was seeing was +5 for the Lakers. I don't mind that one because the Lakers, as bad as they've been most of this year, they've kept things pretty close. I think they're coming off a blowout too, where they got blown out, so they might play with a little extra motivation tonight too. And obviously, in front of the home crowd, they don't want to get booed off.
Exactly. And thank you, Craig, for bringing this up. It kind of plugs a different section of Bet Angles here, where if any bet, you can come in and you can compare the odds. You can compare the different sports books. So if you were going to bet the spread on the Lakers tonight, you can actually, so it's 5.5 across the board. Everyone's offering 5.5.
I see FanDuel's at 5. So
nice.
So that'd be the one to avoid then.
Yeah, and the totals, definitely if you can get FanDuel at 5, that would be nice. And it's all good, guys. So I'd say we'll wrap up here. Take a look at the best bets. We have some our audience here. Yeah, damn sure. Say hi. So just so you guys know, this is why we do we can't lose. We have to win because we have mouths to feed, right, boys?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. So today was episode number 1. We'll be coming to you every day at 4 o'clock. Today we have Justin and Craig. They should be here most days. If anyone, we'll catch you guys later. If anyone wants to join, talk best bets, hit us up. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 for episode number 2. Thank you guys. Later.